Dorian Thompson-Robinson has had a very interesting football career, from backing up the controversial Tate Martell at Bishop Gorman to taking over the UCLA starting quarterback job. It's been a career filled with high expectations. But who is Dorian Thompson-Robinson? In the Who Is series, we go through the backstories of up-and-coming collegiate and pro athletes. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and let me know who you want to see in future episodes. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, aka DTR, grew up in Las Vegas, Nevada. His mother, Dr. Melva Thompson-Robinson, is a professor at UNLV and believes in education is one of the most important things. She has an undergraduate degree from Michigan and a doctorate from the University of South Carolina. Growing up, she told Dorian, "It has always been this. Yes, football will take you places, but academics will take you further." It's not just been a message that I've shared with him. We've had family share that with him. We've had my friends who played football at Michigan share that with him. I say all this because when Dorian was having a ton of coaches visit him, Dr. Thompson-Robinson called the school, and according to Dorian's high school coach, Kenny Sanchez, she called and said, "Coach, how are you doing? Do me a favor. Stop pulling Dorian out of class. I sent him there to get an education." Dorian started his youth football career playing tight end, and one day during practice, they were running routes, and he threw the ball back. The throw surprised everyone, and DTR was then moved to quarterback. According to Dorian, he never threw the ball in youth football. He always would take off running. When he was running left, he would put his left foot back, and when he was running right, he put his right foot back. Teams started to pick up on this, and Dorian needed to switch his stance. Dorian attended Bishop Gorman High School, a powerhouse private school in Nevada. I don't know if y'all remember the show Snoop and Son, but it was where Snoop Dogg's son played football along with one of the most controversial high school and collegiate athletes, Tate Martell. Dorian started his freshman year on the freshman team before being moved up to varsity for the playoffs. One of the coaches at the time told Dorian's mom that he was going to be one of the kids who would have 50 different offers by the time he was a senior. At the time, she didn't believe the coach and was just hoping Dorian would receive at least 2 different offers so he could have a choice of where he wanted to go to school. Dorian continued to work hard in practice, but due to being behind Tate Martell, the future National Gatorade Player of the Year, and winningest high school quarterback, DTR did not get much playing time. It was crushing being stuck on the bench because all he wanted to do was be on the field. He has told stories in the past of how sometimes he would be sad after a big win because he wasn't on the field. Dorian attended the Elite 11 Regionals during 2016, a year before he would become the MVP his senior year, and while he was there, he turned heads. Yogi Roth from the Pac-12 network said, "I was like, who is this kid? He might be better than Martell. Oh, they're on the same high school team?" It was one of those, wow, he's going to be fun to track. Then Dorian's coaches came to him with an interesting proposition. They were wondering if he would play wide receiver his junior year. They were not going to fully convert him to a wide receiver, but just wanted to have his athleticism on the field. DTR jumped at this opportunity and said he would play anywhere to get on the field. Dorian's mom was worried about injury, but playing wide receiver paid off. As a junior, he threw for 3 touchdowns, rushed for 6 touchdowns, and had 22 receptions for 397 yards and 8 more touchdowns. Going into his senior year, Tate Martell had graduated, and the starting quarterback position and team was Dorian's. He was already the 3rd ranked quarterback in his class, Elite 11 MVP, and had 33.8 thousand followers on social media before he ever took a starting snap at quarterback in high school. Dorian threw for 3,275 yards, 38 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions, while also rushing for 426 yards and 7 touchdowns his senior year. According to 24/7 Sports Composite, Dorian was a 4-star recruit who was the 2nd-rated dual-threat quarterback, 3rd best player in Nevada, and 36th best player in his class. Throughout his time in high school, Dorian accumulated over 26 different collegiate offers. His first 2 offers came his freshman year from UNLV and Utah State. During his sophomore year, he earned an offer from Colorado State, and Missouri came in the spring. That is when the floodgates opened. He then earned offers from Colorado, Michigan State, Michigan, UCLA, LSU, and Miami, and more continued to roll in. All these offers came before he even got to start at quarterback. Like I mentioned earlier, a good education was important in DTR's family, and that did not change when it came down to his college choices. Thompson-Robinson narrowed his college choices down to Michigan and UCLA, 2 of the best public schools academically in the United States. Dorian decided to stay closer to home and chose to attend UCLA. Even after Jim Mora was fired, Dorian stayed fully committed to UCLA and only became more excited when the Bruins hired Chip Kelly to become their next head football coach. When Dorian Thompson-Robinson first got to UCLA, there were some outlets comparing him to Marcus Mariota. According to The Athletic, Mariota had played wide receiver before becoming a quarterback in high school, and Mariota also had played for Chip Kelly. During DTR's freshman year, he appeared in 10 games and started 8 games. Dorian made his college debut against Cincinnati when he came in off the bench. During the 26-17 loss to the Bearcats, Thompson-Robinson threw for 117 yards while completing 60% of his passes. The following week, DTR made his first career start in a 49-21 loss to Oklahoma, where he threw for 254 yards and 1 touchdown. His best game of the season came against Washington, where he threw for 272 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception, while completing 71.1% of his passes. UCLA started the season 0-5 before getting their first win against California, 37-7, where Thompson-Robinson completed 86.7% of his passes for 141 yards. Thompson-Robinson had the usual up-and-down season for a freshman and finished throwing for 1,311 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions, while UCLA finished the season 3-9. Dorian Thompson-Robinson had an up-and-down sophomore year. The positives: he threw for 507 yards, 5 touchdowns, and an interception in a comeback win against Washington State, 67-63. UCLA scored 50 points in the second half. He also threw for 367 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception in a loss to USC. Some of the downsides: DTR led the league in turnovers with 19, including 7 fumbles according to the Los Angeles Times. UCLA also finished the season 4-8, going 4-5 in conference. Dorian Thompson-Robinson showed flashes of possible stardom throughout the season, but also had some low times as well. He finished the season throwing for 2,701 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions, while also rushing for 4 touchdowns on the ground. DTR looked to have a better season until 2020 hit. A wrench was thrown into those plans when COVID-19 hit and the Pac-12 canceled and then uncanceled the season. UCLA played in 7 games this season, but Dorian was only able to play in 5 due to contact tracing throughout the season. His season ended on a sour note when he left the game with a knee injury against Stanford during the second quarter. In 4.5 games, Dorian Thompson-Robinson threw for 1,120 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions, while also using his legs more, rushing for 306 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. After the end of the season, DTR wrote on Twitter, "At least I didn't lead the conference in turnovers this year. LOL." Some thought Thompson-Robinson may leave for the 2021 NFL Draft, but he decided to come back for 1 more year. He currently is 166 yards away from passing Troy Aikman on the UCLA all-time passing list and will return most of his offense due to the NCAA freezing eligibility this past season. If you enjoyed this video, check out my other videos in the Who Is series. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, remember to embrace the grind.